Hey guys, how's it going and welcome back for another Total War video with the Terminator. In my 15 years of playing Total War games since the original Shogun, I have always found them to be either a little bit too blurry or too sharp, too colorful or not colorful enough, and that's why when I started this channel last year, I set out to make a graphics guide for every single Total War, complete with my recommendations for settings, mods, and my own Reshade presets. After all, you deserve to get the most visual quality possible for your Total War game, and that's what I'm setting out to do today with Total War Warhammer 3. I'll be running through roughly 10 mods that I think make a major difference to unit visuals, the interface, and other areas, as well as a quick guide on how to install the brilliant graphics program Reshade and how to use my Reshade preset. So let's get started. The first thing we need to look at is optimizing your PC. Make sure all your drivers are fully updated, especially your GPU. Not doing so may cause some crash issues, which you definitely do not want. Make sure you have done your best to close any background processes as well that may slow down your PC. I'm talking about Windows Game Bar or internet browsers, etc. Do not leave those things open. And if you can, play from an SSD, guys. I'll say it time and time again, but solid state drives are miles ahead of HDDs from a performance and load time perspective. I highly recommend it. All right, so let's get into the settings, guys. Anything that I don't mention here doesn't make a massive difference to performance or quality, all right? So I'm gonna mention the settings that actually make a big difference. So starting from the top left here, keep AA at TAA if you want a good balance of quality and performance. Temporal AA, make sure that AA is working really at its best. That's the most effective, latest version of anti-aliasing. That's really good. FXAA is better for performance. So if you're going for another maybe 4 or 5 frames, this is one that you can go with here, but otherwise go for temporal. Texture filtering doesn't make a massive difference to performance, so just keep it at 16. VFX detail is one of the settings that has the biggest impact on performance. I think the difference between each of these settings is something like 5, 6, 7, 8 frames, which is actually a lot. So if you go from ultra to high, it's not going to be that much of a difference. But going from high to medium is huge. So what I recommend here, guys, is go for medium. That's gonna kind of keep some of the quality that's still there, but maximizing your performance within this setting. Tree detail here is all about tree rendering at distance. It doesn't make a massive difference, so I keep it at high. Unit detail is one of those settings that does make a difference, but in the special case of Warhammer 3, if you go from high to medium or medium to low, the units will look completely different. So if you're running a lower end rig, go with high, really. If you can, go with high. Medium, you're going to be sacrificing too much on quality. But if you're running a high end rig, obviously you can go with ultra. Keep depth of field and screen space reflections off. They don't make a massive difference to performance, and they don't really add anything to quality either. Changing lighting quality doesn't have any impact on performance at all, so I would suggest you keep it at high, especially as the last patch for Warhammer 3 added a lot of really good things for lighting. So keep it at high, guys. Now, texture quality is one that depends on VRAM, guys. So check your settings. If you have more than 6 gigabytes, use ultra. If you've got a 6 gigabyte card, then use high. And if you've got anything lower than 6 gigabytes, really, then I would suggest you go on the low setting. All of this will make a difference to your performance in the game. Shadow detail is one of those settings that hogs a lot of performance in Warhammer 3 and all Total War games. High is a very good balance between quality and performance. If you have a better rig than I do, then go for the higher settings, obviously, and lower, go lower. But high is a very good balance. Unit size is one of those settings, again, that will affect performance. Ultra means that you have the most soldiers possible in your unit, and it goes down from there. If you can handle it, go for ultra, but keep in mind, guys, that the late game battles are always going to be massive. So you can play around with that as you start seeing performance drops. You can skip over porthole quality for now, but fog does make a massive difference. So if you have a high-end rig, you can keep it at high, but the quality doesn't actually change that much going from high to low, and low does save you about 8 FPS. So keep that in mind. That's going to be my recommendation for this setting. Finally, guys, we have the boxes on the right, and they're really boxes because they're personal preference, really. I keep them all off because I don't think they make much of a difference. The only one I keep on is unlimited video memory because it does improve quality at the cost of performance, which is something that I can afford on my rig. This is personal preference, so if you can do it, do it. If not, then don't. The others don't make that much of a difference. Cloth simulation is a bit jarring. I don't like it. Screen space shadows doesn't make too much of a difference to shadow detail, really. If you turn it on, it will cost you maybe 3-4 FPS at most, but it's not really worth it. Sharpening, SSAO, proximity fading, vignette, VSync, these are all, settings that absolutely don't make a difference at all to quality or performance, so just keep them off. Next, we're going to go through some mod recommendations. If you go into the Steam Workshop and go into the graphics section of the workshop, you'll find a bunch of mods that some of which I recommend, some of which have other versions, some of which are and are not compatible with big overhauls like SFO and others. So this is just a very quick list of quality of life improvement mods that I recommend. So first off, we've got Unique Factions UI. It's a very simple mod. All it does is personalize the UI for each faction. The only one that's not quite done yet is the Demon Prince. Otherwise, all of the others are more personalized. Green is Nurgle, Zinch is blue, etc. So this is definitely something I highly recommend as a quality of life improvement. Next up, we've got Building Progressions Icons 3, done by Spartan6 and Rum Raisin. This mod is an excellent, very interesting mod that essentially changes up the building icons for every single faction, and it's done really, really well, guys. Like, this is Grand Cathay, the vanilla icons right here, and this is the new version, and they just look really, really good. Honestly, I cannot recommend this enough. It makes a big difference to your game. Another awesome quality of life improvement is alternative unit cards by R1KKO. This is essentially very unique, personalized, custom created unit cards for every single unit in the game so far, and they look seriously awesome. Like, look at these unit cards. It's really impressive. It's really good. It's a lot better than vanilla in my opinion, so I definitely recommend you check this one out. Finally, we have some unit visual mods that I really, really like. The first one is Prentice Mungo's Corn Variation Pack, and all it does is add a few different variations to the corn units, and they look really, really cool, guys. I definitely recommend this one. And the Greatest of Demons mod, the reskin for all the greater demons in the game. It looks really, really good. Hands down, might be my favorite mod in the game so far. Done by Gun King and Ballant. All it does is reskin all of the greater demon units in the game, and it just looks absolutely amazing. All right, so with all that done, let's have a look at Reshade. Reshade is a graphics enhancement program that gives you the tools you need to play around with any visual aspect of the game. I mainly use it for shading, contrast, sharpness, and color saturation, so that's what we're going to use it for today. So first we need to download and install the program, and to do that you need to go on the website and scroll to the bottom of the home page until you see that download button. Once the program is downloaded, you need to run the Reshade setup program and select a game you want to use the application for. So go in there and select Warhammer 3. Then select DirectX 11. This will take you to a screen with lots of unchecked boxes as seen now. You want to check all of those and hit OK. With that, Reshade will download all the files you've checked off, giving you all the tools available to play around with these in-game graphics. Now, all we need to do is go into the game and start playing around with these settings. All right, so now that we have Reshade installed, all I want you to do is go in the game and press the home or print screen button. That's going to bring up the program on the left side, as you can see here. You can download my preset for Reshade as well. It's in the video description below. All you need to do is click on the link and go onto the file and download it as a text file and put it into your Warhammer 3 folder. Once you've done that, it should come up in the list of different presets here as Termi preset. All you need to do is select that. In terms of the settings themselves, we have Blooming HDR that adds some brightness and some contrast. We've got Clarity and FXAA that adds a lot of sharpening to certain areas and some blurring to other areas. And then finally, we have Lightroom, and Lightroom basically dampens down some of the colors that are a bit too vibrant, a bit too saturated. It changes the hue of other colors. Green is a different hue of green. Red is slightly darker, and purple is a little bit more vivid. And it tones down other colors as well. So orange isn't so orange. It's just a slightly milder yellow and things like that. So that is the end result. Overall, I think you can see that the campaign looks a lot better than in vanilla. The darker areas have a lot higher contrast. The brighter areas have HDR and bloom. The color palette has been changed up to be a bit more saturated in some colors like purples and greens, while other colors like blues and reds have been toned down slightly. And across the board, everything just looks a bit more immersive, more realistic especially, and just a bit more vibrant. It needed that vibrancy that I think this Reshade preset has accurately achieved. And it's not just on the campaign either. The battles look really, really good as well. Warhammer 3 dons some of the best looking siege battles I've ever seen in the Warhammer game, and it just doesn't pop enough. There's not enough engagement. There's not enough realism in what I'm seeing here in these siege maps. So what I try to do with this Reshade preset is especially work on the battles to make it look a bit more realistic, to make that green and that purple pop a bit more, to tone down the blues, to tone down that haziness, that blurriness, and to make it all just a bit sharper and clearer, and hopefully you agree it has been achieved. And that's it for today, guys. I wanted to share this graphics guide for Warhammer 3 Total War, including all my settings, my mod recommendations, my Reshade preset, so you can enjoy Warhammer 3 as much as possible. All of those are linked below in the video description for you to access, so get in there and check it all out. I hope you enjoyed the video, guys, and if you did, give it a like. Don't forget to subscribe for more Total War content, gameplay, and news. And thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you next time.